Good day, I'm Rafael Joseph Reyes, and this is my OJT training report. This is my experience with my OJT training at Linea Architects. Company profile. Linea Architects is a 100% Filipino-owned general contracting and design build firm established in October 2020. It is committed to excellence, innovation, and sustainable practices. Owned by Archie Ronil, Archie Jos, and Sir Jerry, they are the core team of the management in Linea, with the construction and design team led by Engineer Brian, Engineer Cha, Arky Luigi, Arky May, and Arky Carl, and many more engineers and architects to compromise for the team. My OJT activities during my 300-hour OJT with Linnea Architects. First, I was assigned to the procurement department with materials delivery and supply contract, which I was the PIC or person in charge. I was tasked to complete a purchase order issued by GSIS, which was a material supply contract that this involved coordination with management and procurement department to be able to accomplish the task with of the PO, in which at the time was 10 cubic meters of sand, 15 cubic meters of vibro sand or white sand, and 600 bags of cement. Finding adequate suppliers to fit the PO and budget was the most grueling task as we need to consider the availability of the supply, the logistics on which where the supply was located to the delivery point, which was Parañaque GSIS, Parañaque GSIS and Pasay GSIS warehouse, and to be able to fit the budget of the PO with the budget of the company. I was guided by the management and Engineer Monica, one of my mentors in the procurement department, that helped me accomplish this task. I also did the paperwork of the bidding, the paperwork of the submittal, such as Ombudsman's foreign statement and Secretary certificate that was required to be issued by the GSIS to be able to participate and to comply with the delivery of materials within this project and this purchase order. In the Hagland project, I was assigned as a engineer that would check the materials like materials, materials canvassing and materials inspection to be able to quantity survey the materials needed for the duration of the projects, mostly rebars and cement bags. I was also stationed at the Hagland project to be able to learn about the structural parts of the construction department the rebars, like the rebars and the steelworks, and the concrete pouring. Me and my fellow interns were tasked with the inspection of inspection of the quality of work performed by the workers and our steelman. We were tasked in being able to verify the correct spacings between the rebars and to be able to check if the rebars that were placed by the workers were according to the structural plan issued by Linnea. We were also tasked to conduct cutting lists and to quantity survey the remainder the remainder of materials needed to be able to complete the roof beams and the second floor slab. Lastly, most of my stay with Linnea, I was focused on becoming a PIC or the person in charge with the Raimundo Condominium renovation project. This was a step up because the site was 2 hours away from my home, and I needed to be there on time at 8 a.m. We were tasked with me and my partner, Engineer Carl, to man and be in charge of a construction site that oversee the renovation and to be standalone engineer and to handle all responsibilities within the project of Raimundo condominium renovation. The task included electrical works, plumbing works, finishing and cabinetry works, which was an eye opener that made me realize there's more to engineering than the structural integrity of a building. The soft skills I learned. Showcasing the skills I learned, coordination. When I was assigned to the GSIS project, I was able to learn how to coordinate with different types of teams and people to accomplish the project efficiently and within the given time frame. As I've said, I've worked with the procurement department and my fellow engineer and fellow intern Tonet Balugo to be able to identify and give the procurement department efficient and efficient and ample suppliers to be able to supply the purchase order given by the GSIS. This was a challenging part for us because as students, we need to step up to be able to have a commanding presence as an engineer, to be able to haggle and negotiate with suppliers, and be able to efficiently communicate the project to the management team and to all the parties involved. Practicality. As a civil engineer, I need to learn how to be practical with the decision that can both affect the project timeline and deadline set by the team. This was present in all of the assignments I was given because in the construction department, we need to follow a certain timeline and we need to abide by that certain timeline. If there may be changes or situations where the timeline might be affected, we need to be able to adapt and be able to communicate the practical decision that may need to be made. For example, it is raining it is raining since morning to noon. So it would be practical to cancel the work for the workers to be able to save on the manpower cost by calling it a half day since there are works that cannot be done during the rain, such as the pouring of concretes. And we need to schedule that. And the deliveries. We need to be practical on we need to be practical on what would be delivered and what can be done on the same day. And and in the procurement department, we need to be practical on the costing of the items to be able to earn a profit, to be able to earn a profit as an engineer. Because we need to consider the logistics and the pricing of the equipment as well as the availability of the said materials to be able to accomplish the projects. Leadership. As an engineer, you should be capable of leading a team, being responsible with the tasks assigned by you and your team. As an engineer, ikaw lang yung pagtatanungan niyan. You would be you would be assigned to lead the foreman and to lead all the labor. You would be assigned to relay what needs to be done with the plans and how you would do it. You need to be the commanding presence that would dictate the pace of the project to be able to abide by the timeline set by you and your team. Efficiency. This aligns with all the previous soft skills I've learned because it all boils down to this. We need to be learn how to be efficient and how to identify the most efficient choices to benefit the team and the project. Because you are not alone. You work as a team and you need to make decisions as a team. You need to identify the most efficient path or the most efficient choice every day for you and your team. For example, you need to be efficient when it comes to the scheduling of works. You need to be able to decide what work needs to be done today and what works can be rescheduled to fit the timeline. That is the soft skill I learned while being a person in charge at the Raimundo project. Next, technical skills I've learned. I've learned how to, I've learned how to, I had a different understanding with estimation and quantity surveying because it is very different from the exercises that we have done in school. Being on site, as you are manning the project, you have to simultaneously be able to do your job at as estimating and quantity surveying. As a quantity surveyor in the Hogland project, this was my very first task, to give an estimate of how many materials we need to be able to complete the project, and I was given a total of 3 days to do it. While during those 3 days, I was also manning and inspecting the works of our labors. And to be able to do a cutting list for an actual site was really an eye-opener for me and would be a memorable experience as the time pressure and the site conditions elevated my experience to be more pressured and more focused to complete the task. plan within an actual application, there can be some discrepancies with the on-site measurements and the plan measurements. As I was assigned in the Raimundo and Hogland site, I experienced having to map and interpret the plans from drawing to the actual. I learned how to properly be able to explain to the workers where the drawings are and what consists of that drawings to be able to communicate what the workers need to do and why they need to do it. For example, there needs to be a retaining wall there. I should be able to pinpoint that location using the plan to be able to pinpoint that location on site and to be able to give detailed instructions on what needs to be done to our workers and the labor team so they could do the task efficiently not not be stuck on questions on not to be stuck on questions about the technical aspects of the plan. Inspection of the quality of work. This was most prominent when I was in the Raimundo site because most of our tasks were inspections on the tile setting, the paint finish, the plumbing and electrical installations. Because as an engineer, you need to make sure your works are presentable and detailed enough so the clients would appreciate the aesthetic side of the engineering engineering perspective. To be able to correct the mistake that may affect the design and the integrity of the structure. My engineering problem. The engineering problem I have encountered in my OJT experience with Linnea Architects. The most prominent was an untraceable and unidentifiable leaks with the wet areas in the toilet and bath. Because we were tasked with renovating a toilet and bathroom for the condominium. So, after removing the existing tiles, we did a flood test after applying the first coat of waterproofing, and we seem to have identified that there is a leak. But we don't know if the leak was from the concrete, from the poorly covered clean outs or drainages, or from the existing pipes, or from the existing pipes and connections of the unit. As we have no access to the plumbing plans of the site, we were forced to adapt and to redo the waterproofing and to identify if the leaks are coming from the concrete or from the clean outs. So these are the solutions we have came up to help avoid this kind of problems when it comes to the waterproofing and the leaking of a wet area in the toilet and bath. Check the integrity and the materials used and the skills of the workers involved to prevent the faulty work. Because before I was assigned in the Raimundo project with me and and my colleague, there was a first team that did the waterproofing. And as we have found out, the waterproofing was did poorly and substandard, in which the water curing was not able to set. So this has been our number one suspect on how the leaks were occurring because of this. So we had to invite another skilled foreman from another site to do the waterproofing and to abide rules by the rules stated in the package to be able to rest and set for 24 hours and to apply 3 coats. Next, check as I've said, we need to redo and check the waterproofing of the floor so that we can rule out the it is leaking from the concrete floor. Check the insulation of all previous fixtures, cleanouts, and drains. This could be another contributor. If the drains and cleanouts are not fully covered as it may cause leaking to the next floor or to the site when we are conducting a flood test. And the flood test is usually conducted to inspect the leaks of the waterproofing. And lastly, to determine if all the previous piping works are functional and up to standards. Because as we have encountered in the Raimundo site, some of the piping works are wrong and are not up to standard. And we have come to conclusion that this may have been the cause of the leaks and we need to just apply the correct amount of waterproofing to be able to stop the leaks and to prevent problems like this from occurring in the future for our clients. Conclusion. This is my insights as an intern when it came to my 300 hours OJT experience with Linnea. I have come to develop these 3 skills or to realize these 3 skills during my stay with Linnea. Coordination. Coordination. Engineering works and projects are not solo works. You need to be able to communicate and to coordinate with your team to be able to achieve success. Engineering is not a one-man job. You need to be coordinated with the team, with your labor, with your superiors, and with your colleagues to be able to solve the problem and to be able to coordinate the solution and cascade it to the team so the problem won't be a prominent headache in the future. Adaptability. To be able to be an all-around leader. To be able to man the site and to be able to adapt throughout the changes and difficulties of the site. It's one of the key learning I have observed during my OJT period with Linnea. When it came to this, I need to adapt because I am in charge of the deliveries, the paperwork, the site work, and manning of the team. It is an all-around job. I need to be prepared for the scenarios that may come. I have to make bold decisions with myself to be able to continue the project to continue the project smoothly and to be able to make my team efficient to abide by the timeline set by the team and the management. Lastly, my willingness to learn. This is the vital point in my OJT training period. School won't teach you everything. You will learn many things from many different people only if you are willing to listen. This made me realize throughout my journey, as my student time is almost at its end, I still have a lot to learn before I become a fully fledged and respected civil engineer. I have learned a lot of things from the procurement department to management on how to be efficient, how to be grounded, how to be a leader, and how to manage the timeline and how to manage things efficiently. As I started my OGT, I was scatterbrained and I was kind of lax. After the OJT, I learned how to think critically and I learned how to analyze problems and how to give how to give effective solutions immediately to be able to adapt with the problems and coordinate them efficiently to the management and to my team. That ends my experience with Linnea, and this is my feedback. I have come to realize that the 300-hour time frame allocated in the OJT program is not sufficient to fully grasp the scope and depth of civil engineering. Civil engineering is an expansive and multifaceted field, and the limited duration of the training does not allow a trainee to witness or to contribute to the full life cycle of a single project. In my own experience, I was only involved in the construction phase of a residential structure briefly and rotated to man a condominium renovation project, which was 90% done when I ended my internship in Linnea, which while informative offered a narrow view of the profession's diversity. I would recommend that there would be two OJT periods, one focusing on the office works and the technical aspects of the civil engineer, like AutoCAD, planning, quantity surveying, and timeline making, like the Gantt chart, and to switch over to to the on-site to the on-site perspective, like the site works, becoming a PIC, and yes, that would be my recommendation to be able to fully grasp the project like the project and its lifespan to be able to complete the project would be a perfect scenario for the OJT's experience in Colegio de Muntinlupa. Special thanks to Linnea Architects. These are my mentors which helped me throughout my journey. Arki Josh, Arki Jonil, this is the person who helped me when I was in the GSIS, and Engineer Monica helped me with the procurement and the supplying of materials with the GSIS. As for Archie O'Neill and Engineer Irvin, they were my mentors when it came to the site works with the Hogland and the Raimundo project. That's it for my OJT. Thank you for listening, and this is the end of my report.